What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Back with another live stream. Special guest with me today, Super Kevin Campbell in the building. How are you, Kevin? Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas to you, Curtis. Merry Christmas to everybody watching or who's going to watch. And I'm very good. Thank you, mate. Very good.
Very good. First of all, I want to say I thought you did really well on Amazon Prime yesterday. I like you presenting. I love the way you probed Mikel Arteta for answers after the game, man. The fan head came in, you turned into the Arsenal fan in the interview.
Well, I think I had to because there's a lot of the fans who would ask that question themselves. So when I actually ask it, and the answer comes, it kind of satisfies the fans, wanting to know what he said to the team at halftime, because when they came out second half, they were flying, man. They were really going for it. So it was good to ask him some of them questions.
I mean, look, we can have a more positive talk than we had last time. Obviously, we like we said, we spoke briefly after the game yesterday, and we said, look, although it's positive, there's a long way to go. We're not where we need to be. We've won 2 games of football at the end of the day.
We're nowhere near where we want to be, Curtis.
Yeah.
Let's get that clear from the jump.
Yeah.
We are nowhere near. It's great that we win 2 games.
Yeah.
Everyone could cool the jets a little bit.
Definitely.
But we are nowhere near the finished article where we want to be.
Yeah. I have to say, because I put in the title, one of the questions I asked was, can we still make top 4? And I see people getting on to me in the comments. But listen, I'm just posing the question. I think we're 9 points off the top 4, 10 points. It's not impossible. We saw Man United claw back 14 points on Leicester last year. I still feel we've got a long way to go. But, what do you still think we could achieve this season potentially in the league?
Well, the question, can Arsenal get to the top 4? Of course they can. There's enough points to play for. You still got all of them teams to play who's above you.
Yeah.
So, of course, Arsenal could get top 4. The key is, will they get top 4?
That's a different question, isn't it?
That's the different question. And I don't think Arsenal will make the top 4.
Yeah.
And considering where we've been, a good finish will be top 7, top 8 for me, because of where we've been and what we've done. But listen, I would love to be proved wrong. Curtis, in football, you can go on a run. You win back-to-back games. A couple of teams fail, and next minute, you're right back in the mix. Do you know what I mean? This is how football works. So, listen, I hope and pray, touch wood, touch everything, that Arsenal could put a run together, because you know what? If Arsenal could put a run together, there's going to be a lot of teams looking over their shoulder.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll concentrate mainly on the last couple of games. I know it's been about a month or so since we last did a show, but what did you make of the last 2 games? Obviously, back-to-back wins. What have you made of them?
I think the Chelsea game was it was really a free hit for Arsenal.
Yeah.
We weren't sure what team Arteta was going to pick. We just weren't sure what team was going to turn up, if we're honest, Curtis.
Yeah.
The fact that Martinelli started and Emil Smith Rowe started, and Aubameyang was on the bench, Lacazette was up top, and he had the 3 young players in behind him, it kind of worked perfectly for us.
Yeah.
Because the energy that Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka expended, and the work that Lacazette got through, it really helped the team.
Yeah.
Push up the pitch. It helped the team where putting them under pressure. I mean, I was watching one part where Martinelli's closed the fullback, then it's gone to the centre half, Zuma, then it's gone back to the goalkeeper, and he's just flying to close it down.
Yeah.
He's flying to close it down, and he had that energy right up until the time he came off. That was only his 2nd game back, Curtis.
Yeah.
And that hunger, that infectious enthusiasm that he has, the enthusiasm that Smith Rowe has. And I've got to say this about Smith Rowe. I've seen Smith Rowe do well in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And when he's come on in games, he's been all right, but he hasn't been outstanding. He was outstanding against Chelsea. He was outstanding against Chelsea. And the jewel in the crown, Saka, he's just been outstanding all season, if we're honest.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding all season. Scored a little bit of a fluky, cheeky goal. And
yeah, well, he's claiming it, but yeah.
Well, listen, you claim everything, but with his right foot, no, I can't see that. But you know what? He scored it. It went in. Listen, you take it. We take it. We got a little slice of luck as well, Curtis. Let's be honest. We did get some slices of luck, which worked in our favor, which haven't been going our way. And then obviously, to the Leno saving the penalty was the icing on the cake against Chelsea.
Yeah, as you said, man, you claim every goal. I remember a ball getting crossed in once a few years ago, and I went to flick it on. It never even touched me. I ran off and claimed it. I said, yeah, I'll take it, man. I don't care.
Take everything. Take everything.
I'll take it, man, So, no, but listen, I think you're right. Everyone was going into that Chelsea game. I did a predictions video, and people were saying 3-0 to Chelsea, and we've got no chance, Giroud hat-trick and all this. So, but yeah, you're right. I thought Smith Rowe, the way he moved around N'Golo Kante, he couldn't get near him. And, the game yesterday, obviously you presented it really good as well. First off, I'm sitting there going, oh no, we're back to normal. The Chelsea game was a blip. We're back in that box again. We can't do anything. And then second half, they came out and were much better. And I saw you said to Mikel Arteta as well, what did you say to him at half time?
Because look, Curtis, the team came out with a focus and a purpose. They started playing forward a lot quicker.
Yeah.
With a better tempo. And you could see, soon as we stepped the tempo up, Brighton were all over the place. We kept getting between them in. We got Saka down the sides. We got Smith Rowe through. We got Aubameyang through a couple of times. We started the game in the first 10 minutes quite all right.
Yeah.
And then once Basuma and them guys got a grip of that midfield, we were like self-destructing in defense. I think El Nani gave a couple of square balls and they intercepted it. And it was like, what are you doing? But he moved 10 yards further forward second half. We started playing quicker. We started having a better mindset. And we started playing to our strengths, Curtis, which is quick ball to our strikers who are quick.
Yeah.
Don't mess about trying to play square. Play forward.
Ball. Yeah.
And, Mikel Arteta, who was lovely, by the way, really good to interview. He just said, we needed to play with purpose, play with better tempo. So we agreed with what I kind of said. And, we said he trusted the youngsters. Because the youngsters are, again, like I've said before, it should be the other way around. It should be the experienced players really helping the youngsters. It's the youngsters helping our experienced players.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear Mikel Arteta say, these youngsters need the right experienced players with them. Because you get the wrong experienced players with them and they kind of leave them out to dry a little bit and don't help them. So I think it was a good 2 games, Curtis.
Yeah.
We see a snapshot of, it's not all hunky-dory by any stretch. But you know what? These 6 points are really important. And you know what, Curtis? That clean sheet yesterday was really good. Pablo Mari's impressed me. He's impressed me. He hasn't played a lot of football, but his reading of the game is big. He's dominant in both boxes. He's looked all right, man. He's looked decent.
He has looked all right. He definitely reads the game well. And I wasn't expecting too much of him, but he's come in and he looks like he's added something. I mean, he's brilliant in the air. He won so many headers yesterday. And I agree. I think that clean sheet was vital yesterday because I don't think we would have scored too many goals yesterday. So I think if Brighton would have scored, I think we'd have struggled to get the second one. I just want to talk to you about the young players, the 3 youngsters that have really changed things the last couple of games. Obviously, Smith Rowe, Martinelli and Saka. What have you made of them 3? And would you be looking to stick with those 3 as we move forward?
I don't see why not. I'll be true. I'll be truthful with you, Curtis. As I mentioned about Smith Rowe, Martinelli, for me, he has to be managed because at times yesterday looked a little bit leggy and he didn't have that same zip. And that's to be expected because he's only just coming back. It's his third game back. So we've got to manage him because what we don't want to do is get him injured again.
Yeah.
But you see the versatility of Smith Rowe. Obviously, Lacazette comes on. Smith Rowe plays with Aubameyang. He plays with, and Lacazette comes on, plays with them. And then you see Saka go off, and I'll get to Saka. And then Smith Rowe move out to the right-hand side and still be as effective, very creative, very positive player for Arsenal. And I'm getting to Saka. Saka's the jewel in the crown, Curtis. I've got to say that. I know Martinelli will be up there with him. And big up to Kieran Tierney as well. I thought Tierney had a good game.
Yeah.
But Bukayo Saka, mate, he defies logic, mate. He's defying logic. You know, someone so young shouldn't be so gifted in so many positions. He's playing out of position, and he's the chief creator. He's the chief difference maker in this Arsenal team at 19 years old. It's brilliant what I'm seeing. Absolutely brilliant. But the three of them together, we've got something, Curtis. We've got something to build on right there. Them three should be mainstays in this football club for years to come. They should be.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Saka all season has just been outstanding. People saying in the comments that the Tottenham game's been called off. I mean, I haven't had a chance to see that.
I heard that. Yeah, I saw that because I think some COVID issues with
Fulham. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy the effect it's having. Big up my boy Broads as well. Everyone go and subscribe to his channel. That's my strike partner for AFTV FC, man. We need to get you down there one time, Kev, man.
Well, the problem is, Curtis, you know where I am. I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'm abroad. I'm back. I'm all sorts of places. So if I get the time, obviously I'll come down. But I can't say I could be there. Do you know what I mean? It's just as and when, brother.
Just one of them things. I wanted to ask you this as a striker. I think Lacazette has looked fantastic since these three players have played behind him. I think he's arguably a better link player, in my opinion, than Aubameyang. At this moment, if we was picking our strongest 11 with this current system, is Aubameyang on the bench?
Yep.
I can't believe you said it so casual.
Oh,
no. I thought I was going to have a full-blown debate with you, man. Just say, yeah.
No. Listen,
I agree, by the way.
If we ask who's our best striker is, Aubameyang's our best striker.
Yeah.
But the problem is, with these young players need somebody who can really help them to link. And that is Lacazette all day long. Aubameyang is not really a link player. Aubameyang's a runner.
Yeah.
And when you get good ball for Aubameyang, he looks great. He needs to be on the move, utilize his speed, his movement, etc. When that's not there, and you have to be functional, he's not very good. Not very good with his back to goal. And that's just, he's never really had to do that. That's all. You know, that's not his game. But that's Lacaz's game. Lacaz's game is, I'll link you, I'll get it, I'll pass it, I'll hold the ball up, I'll let midfielders come so I could drop it off to you. And he's that type of guy. He's an unsung hero in that sense, because a lot of people didn't recognize how much Lacazette does for this team. But when Lacaz's not there, you realize we miss him so much. Just be able to give it to him, hold it. He could screen it. He could bring people into the game. Especially with these Smith Rowe, man, Martinelli and Saka, them three need somebody who can get hold of the ball so they can move into position.
100%. I just wanted to ask you this question from Nigel Stewart. He said, does Lacazette get a new contract? He's got a year left in the summer. He's 29. He's on about 150 grand a week around there. Some people said he hasn't scored enough goals, but with this energy and runners around him, he looks revitalized. What would you do?
The youngsters are making him young.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah. He
happens.
said that
The
in the
youngsters,
interview, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, the youngsters are making him young. He's an older player with experience, and sometimes he's not as appreciated as he should be. Curtis, I'm telling you, he's not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think people are gonna start to see his value now, and obviously maybe the team, because of the youngsters, that doesn't suit Aubameyang.
No.
So that suits Lacazette. Who knows what's going to happen? Obviously, there's times where Aubameyang's going to play on the left, etc.
Mm.
If you're gonna play Aubameyang, you need to give him early ball.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday, and he's making some great runs, Curtis. But Xhaka, he can't see it, or he sees it too
mate.
late. El Neni can't see it. The only one really in that midfield, there'd be two players who could see it potentially. Who plays in that centre midfield is Ceballos,
Yeah.
and Partey.
Yeah.
Partey's the one, I think. As soon as he says it, he'll do it.
He'll do it straight away.
But Xhaka won't do it. El Neni can't do it. So
you say he won't, and he can't.
Listen. I speak. You know me. I only speak straight.
Yeah, man.
Curtis. El Neni can't do it. He's a water carrier type of guy. He's a passer like that. Which is
You need some of them.
no disrespect to him, but you do need water carriers. You do need some. But if we can up that quality in the midfield, then we will see a lot better Aubameyang, because we could have released him a couple of times yesterday, but couldn't see the pass. So,
Right, I see. Was it Enia Luco you was working with, and she showed that situation where Aubameyang just spun off their centre back. Xhaka's actually looking at him, and you're like, "Why are you not doing it?" And he turns back and just gives it to Bella, and you're like, "Bruv." Because Aubameyang was getting, I did a live stream yesterday. Aubameyang was getting criticised a lot. And I said, look, as a striker, when you make that run and he doesn't give you the ball, he's just cost him a goal there.
Curtis, you're a striker. I'm a striker. Enia Luco's a striker. We see it. The majority don't see it. They don't. Sometimes you can't have a go at people because they don't get it. You have to be able to get it. We get it, because when you make that move, the ball's got to come.
Has to.
Not I run and then the ball comes. As soon as I make the run, the ball's got to be on its way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come like that for Aubameyang at the moment. So whether Mikel Arteta does some work on the training ground, because look, Aubameyang's our best striker, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be times, fair enough, right now, where maybe the best place for him might be on the bench.
Yeah.
But we still need to utilize him as our best striker if he gets on the pitch. So whether he starts or he's on the bench, Curtis, and comes on. If he comes on and players are tired, that's where we should be killing teams by utilizing what he's good at. So it's a difficult one, because you need players who not only see it, Curtis, but can do it, can play that pass.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Ollie B here saying get Kevin Campbell at Arsenal. Have they ever approached you to go and work there or anything? No. Crazy, isn't it? Why do they not want ex-players in the building?
Well, look, they might want some ex-players, but they want the ones who they can control.
Yeah. What, like Mikel Arteta?
well, hey, Curtis, you might laugh, but I'm deadly serious.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They know Mikel Arteta will work with what the model is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because, as I said before, Allegri was my number one, but they couldn't get Allegri because they haven't got the war chest that Allegri wants. Because Allegri looks at it and says, I need a defense, I need this, I need that. They're not going to give him that sort of money.
No. That's the problem, isn't it?
You know, so it's hard. And listen, we're battling against the current right now. But the question is, have we turned the corner, or are we just starting to kind of claw ourselves into a position? I'm not quite sure, because I think the West Brom game is going to be the one.
Oh, listen, do you know what? This is why I wanted to get you on as well, because obviously a former West Brom player. West Brom go and lose 5-0 last night. You know, every time Leeds went forward, they scored. I see Romain Sawyer's scored an own goal from 25, and he's actually a good player as well.
Good player he is, yeah.
But you're thinking to yourself, I bet West Brom don't play like that against us. You know, you can just imagine it's going to be a hard, tough game. They'll have men behind the ball. What do you make of that game coming up?
Curtis, it's the worst thing that could have happened to Arsenal.
You think so?
Yeah, because what will Big Sam do now? He's going to batten down the hatches, come and break us down. And you know they're decent at set pieces, etc. So, you know, we have to be vigilant, because if they take the lead, it's gonna be such a difficult task to break them down. Although they don't score many goals, Curtis. So
no, they don't.
With what we've got right now, you know, we can cause them big problems. The key to it is taking the lead, Curtis. We've got to take the lead, because if we take the lead, they have to open up a little bit more. And they opened up against Leeds, and look what happened. Leeds ripped them apart.
Leeds are a very good team, man. I saw you mention this guy yesterday as well, Kev. Alvin said, question for you two, should we take Basuma? I'd take him all day long. He seems he's been quietly handling his business at Brighton, and now everyone's starting to recognise him. He looks a player. Him next to Partey would be...
I said it yesterday. You know, Curtis. We need somebody who can play with Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Who's athletic like Thomas Partey. But Partey, we know, is even more gifted going forward. He could be the box-to-box player, and we need someone else to sit in that midfield and break things up, man. Basuma could do that all day long. I would take him tomorrow. You know what I mean? Friday, put that bid in. Friday, open up, put it in. Friday.
Put it in, man.
Put it in, go and get this guy, because you know what? Once you got those two in the center of the pitch, your back four's protected.
Yeah.
And you know you're gonna get some productivity. And you're gonna be able to press. Because both of them have got engines.
Yeah.
And they're good at getting the ball back.
Yeah, for real, man. I would like, do you know what? I wonder how much he would cost.
Well, you put a little tester across the bows, don't you? You put a little 30 million, 35 million across the bows, and you see how Brighton react. They might come back and say, look, you know, you give us 40, 45 and we'll sell him.
Yeah. Nice, a good one. Do you know what? The last time we was on, we spent basically the whole show debating about Mikel Arteta. What's your thought pattern on Arteta now? Since then, do you still believe he's the right man?
Yeah, I do, Curtis. Listen, what I think is he got surprised by his experienced players, or the lack of quality leaders. He was expecting them to step up to help some of these youngsters. And I think that's why it's taken Arteta this long to really integrate some of these youngsters. Because everyone's been crying out, put the youngsters in. But the actual team haven't been playing well enough to help them.
No.
Curtis, and when that happens, you'd actually do more damage to the young players. Because it's for the older players to, come on, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And you react, you let the older, experienced players lift the young players. But no, it's the other way around at Arsenal at the moment. The young players are pushing the older players. And that's wrong. That shouldn't be happening. Yeah. So what he needs is, as he mentioned last night with one of the questions, he needs the right experienced players with these youngsters. Because I tell you what, you get the right experience with these youngsters could fly. I'm telling you, they can fly because they're so talented.
Do you know a player, you're talking about the players there, a player that I spoke about, and obviously you do work with La Liga, you go over there to Spain. story came out yesterday that we're in talks to get Isco. Now, I said to Robbie, I would take a chance on him on loan. I look at it like this. James Rodriguez a year ago, a lot of fans, I reckon, would have turned their nose up at him. He's gone to Everton. He's looked quality this season under Carlo. I think Isco was higher rated at Real Madrid than probably James was at one point. He was keeping Bale out of the team. He played in the Champions League final. Would you take Isco on loan until the end of the season?
No.
Oh, there you go. I created all that nice debate for him.
I know, but listen, again, I give you the straight answer, and then I explain why.
Go on.
We've already have players, El Neni, Xhaka, and I'm not saying they are Isco.
No, they're not.
But who are not quick. They're technically decent, but they're not quick. They can't, in the transition of things, they can't pick the ball up and outrun anyone. Isco's that type of player. He's not a player who could pick the ball up and beat someone and all of a sudden can commit a centre-half for a slip it through to Aubameyang or Lacazette or Smith Rowe or Martinelli or Saka. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
The team has to be playing well for him to play well. He's not one of them players who could grab a game by the scruff of the neck and make things happen. He's just not that type of. I've seen him. This is the second season now, really, where I've studied him when he's came on, etc. And he is a quality player, but I don't think he's what we need. We need dynamism and speed from that midfield to the front. And now we've got a little bit of it. We've seen it with these youngsters. All of a sudden, we look a different side. So if we're going to bring someone in, we've got to bring someone in who's better, not just technically, but athletically as well. We need to bring people in who are going to make a real difference to us.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Do you know what I was just looking at? Because I thought they were saying, ours not going to happen in January. Leon, are top of the league. He wants to wait till the summer. Buendia from Norwich.
Good player, by the way.
He's a good player. But Norwich are top of the league. The chairman's saying, promotion can be worth, 80, 90 million. Is he going to let his best creative player go in January? I know we're Arsenal by right. We should be able to pull him out of Norwich, but the club still have to be willing to sell him. So I'm just not sure how many options there would be. And I feel like Isco is a typical Arsenal deal.
Curtis, put the money on the table.
But Arsenal don't like putting the money on the table, Kev.
Well, we are not in the position where we can't put the money on the table. We got to put that money on. Listen, if we want to improve what we do, we've got to start getting aggressive.
We do.
Right? And if we say, right, our budget's 30 million, you put 25 on the table. Say, right, here's 25 million, and Norwich will be like, Because, listen, Norwich are doing okay, but Curtis, who's to say that they don't have a bad time in the second half or whatever over Christmas and second half of the season, and they don't get promotion?
Yeah.
And they could have sold him. So they have all sorts of questions. They've got a strong squad. And if Arsenal want him and the player wants to come, then I'm telling you, Norwich are gonna do the deal. I'm telling you.
You think so? Yeah, I do like Buendia. Looks a good player. Created a lot of chances last season. I think he was the 4th highest in the Premier League last year, which in a relegated team.
He can score as well. He can score as well.
And he is a bit more dynamic than Isco, I suppose, in that sense, and a lot younger.
And also, Curtis, he's played in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's important because, you can bring Isco over and it just might be too quick for him or it might be too physical. We've seen it happen with some of these top players. So,
it's the players, Curtis. Love Kev. I think this was the quote of the day in the last video we did.
Curtis.
Slightly.
No, but Curtis, isn't it quite emphatic? I said, look, Arteta picks the team. They cross the white line. It's the players. But when it goes good, it's the players too.
Yeah.
It's still the players. You know what I mean? It's still the players. Exactly. Listen, when things go bad,
it's the manager.
The manager gets it in the neck. When things go good, the manager gets lifted up. But it's because of the play. It's always because of the players who goes out there. And if you look at the last 2 games to the previous 6, it's chalk and cheese, Curtis. These players are playing with heart, energy, playing for the badge. Whereas before, I don't know what they were playing for, but it definitely weren't Arsenal Football Club.
Harry said, why don't Arsenal look at top quality championship players, could get them for cheap and fit into the team? I mean, championship players are expensive now, though, aren't they, Kev? You know, look at Watkins, 30 million.
Well, 30 million ain't expensive.
But from back in the day, though, championship players at 30 million, I mean, it's gone up year after year.
Yeah, but Curtis, you're talking about a striker who scored 20-odd goals.
Yeah.
Costing only 30 million. Where are you going to get that? You know, you go into Europe for a striker who scored 30 goals a season or 20 goals a season. You reckon you're going to get you're going to have to top that 30 million up.
Yeah.
So again, listen, I've watched the championship now for a good few seasons. There's some good players in that division. Let me tell you, some hard players as well. Some players who turn it on week in, week out, play for the badge, who are tough and have some quality as well. So I don't see why Arsenal can't go and pick some of these gems. Because you know what, Curtis? I remember a time where George Graham went out and got Lee Dixon and a fullback called Steve Bold.
Wow.
Steve Bold was playing right back.
He looks too big to be a right back.
Right. He was playing right back. And he got them in the football club. And look what happened. Everybody at Arsenal probably thought, who are these guys from what, second division at the time? Division 2 Stoke.
Yeah.
But you can get these players and you can mold them because they're malleable. You can mold them into what you want. Whereas some of these big international players, we've got enough of them. Well, we've got enough of them who we want to get out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Steve Bold was a right back. I never knew that, You know when Saka turned that is his name Burn last night. I said, bruv, that's the biggest fullback I've ever seen in my life. I was calling him Andre the Giant, bro.
Yeah, he is. And do you know what? He didn't do too bad until Saka started to get the better of him. As soon as he gets too tight and he spun him, because at centre half, you've got people around you who could get you out.
Yeah.
But when he does you wide, it's a race and say you're done. He's done.
Kev, I wanted to ask you about a lot's been made of this whole Edu situation and Kia Jarabchin and his links with him. People are looking at David Luiz, Willian, we're being linked with Diego Costa, even though I don't think there's anything in that. I hope not. But what have you made of Edu and his involvement with this agent and bringing in players like Willian and that?
Like I've said before, Curtis, Arsenal need players who have been there and done it. Arsenal don't have anyone.
Yeah.
It's for a club like Arsenal to bring some of these youngsters on, they need to have the right experience around them to help them progress. And I understand, look, Willian hasn't been great. David Luiz has had his moments. He's been hit and miss at times. But one thing no fan could say that they haven't been winners. They've got all the medals. They've been in the trenches. They've played in the big games and come through. Arsenal haven't had that. So in order to get that, you need that in your building, whether they're playing or not. Because it's a mindset. And we know there's been kind of a battle going on in the dressing room with some players who ain't playing and some players who are playing. But as far as I'm concerned, David Luiz came to the party at the back end of last season, winning the FA Cup, which was great. Willian obviously hasn't hit the ground running, and he's been subject to people, get him out of the team, etc. And he's not obviously he's isolating or doing whatever he's doing right now.
Yeah.
But I personally think these guys are important for the likes of Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, Reece Nelson, Willock. I think these guys are important because I don't think they can rely on the other lot.
No.
Because whether we like it or not, I think the other lot, we never saw the youngsters really coming through like this.
No, we didn't.
Do you know what I mean? Now we're seeing the youngsters coming through and making a difference, which is what we want. But they need to have good, experienced players around them, keeping their feet on the ground, keeping them focused in training, etc. This is really important. And as for agents, don't forget, Curtis, before we weren't signing certain players from certain agents.
Yeah, under Wenger,
So we were playing in the game with one arm behind our back.
Yeah.
So, what's the point in having these super agents out there if you're not going to be dealing with them? We've got to be dealing with them. We've got to deal with them. We have to. And whether the fans like it or not, the fans will always moan about something.
Yeah.
Right? As fans, we will always moan about something. There's always something that we see. But as a football club and as a business of football, these are the guys who have the top players, Curtis. So sometimes you've got to deal with them on a couple of bits in order to get the big one down the road.
The big one down the line. The thing, Kev, because it's difficult because sometimes you see there's a lot of free transfers of experienced players who you look at from the outside and you say he's been there, he's done it, he's won trophies. You see players like Milner, who's gone to Liverpool, been brilliant there for years as a squad player, and Zlatan had a good time at United for a short period of time. Cavani looks half decent. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, you see players like Willian and you say, okay, you're a talented player, but have you kind of come here to just see out your career? Or do you genuinely have that hunger to come here and offer something to the youngsters and improve the team?
Curtis, that's a good question. Me personally, I think Willian has got the right attitude. I just don't think he's played well or the team's played well enough.
Yeah.
Because one player, Willian on his own, is not going to make the difference. He needs the team to be playing well so he could help play well, if that makes any sense. To get Thomas Partey is a game changer. He's one in the midfield who could do it all. He could pick the ball up. He could create. He could track back. He could stop people. He could do a plethora of things. But Willian isn't that type of player.
Yeah.
Willian has been a functioning player in a Chelsea system for year on year. And he can do that easily. But coming to Arsenal, if we're honest, the quality, we're not the same quality at times, especially at the start of this season, as Chelsea have been. We're not. So I think we're expecting him to all of a sudden do things that maybe, he doesn't do. And I think maybe we're asking a little bit too much. He should be playing better. Of course he should. He should be playing more consistent, 100%. But Willian isn't that player who's just going to put the team on his back and carry us. Not for me. He's not that player.
I suppose that there's certain players, isn't there, Kev? They're, like, as you said, they're good in a good team. They're not, they kind of play the level of the team. And, you look at Willian's numbers last year. He actually had his best season in terms of goal contribution, 9 goals, 7 assists. Comes to Arsenal and all of a sudden, and everyone's saying this guy's rubbish, get him out, which I can understand the frustration, but you don't become a bad player overnight, do you?
He's not rubbish. He's not bad. He's going through a bad time, just like the team have gone through a bad time.
Yeah.
The team, and you will see. I mean, you think about it. Whenever Arsenal play bad, does Granit Xhaka play good?
Well, does he even play well when we play well? It's no, still...
but I mean, you understand what I mean, Curtis? This time,
I get you, man.
you will see Saka play well when the team play bad. You will see Tierney play well when the team play bad. But the fact of the matter is, Granit Xhaka ain't playing well when the team are playing well.
Yeah.
Sorry, when the team ain't playing
Team
well.
are playing bad. Yeah.
He plays well when the team play well. He plays bad when the team play bad. That's just the life. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And if we get players in who can play well when the team ain't playing well, the more of those players you have, Curtis, is the more games we win.
Yeah.
Because
totally
all
agree.
of a sudden, these players could do something. You get a goal, you take a 1-0 like we did yesterday. Thank you very much. Saka done it.
Yeah.
You know that, and these guys are the difference makers. Saka's the jewel in the crown right now.
He is. Have you ever, because you strike me, you're a player, I know you was fully committed all the time we saw you play, but have you ever seen a player join one of your clubs at the back end of his career and kind of looked at him and thought he's just going through the motions? I mean, I don't expect you to name names, but have you ever felt like that at any club?
I've seen players. No player joins a club thinking he's not going to do well.
Yeah, of course not.
But I've seen players come to a club and get demoralized because things just hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
And, that's football for you. Because, do you know what, Curtis? Andriy Shevchenko at AC Milan was probably the top striker in Europe.
Unreal.
He comes to Chelsea and he's a shadow of the player.
Did you play against him?
Yeah. And you think about it. You think about that, Curtis. He was one of the top guys in Europe, if not the top guy in Europe. He comes to England, the Premier League, and Chelsea, who had a good team.
Very.
Couldn't do anything. So if that could happen for Andriy Shevchenko, who was at the top of his game, an experienced player coming into a new environment, is still a risk. There is still risks to that. Now, if a team's playing well and the player isn't playing well, he's out. If he comes into the team and he doesn't do well, obviously then there's going to be grounds to drop the guy. But, Arsenal fans are like, I don't care what you've done at Chelsea. You're at Arsenal now and you got to show me what you got. And the likes of Willian haven't really done that right now. So obviously he needs to improve. Of course he does. He needs to improve. I would never say Willian's been great. But what I do know is Arsenal haven't been playing well when Willian's been playing. So I think we played decent once. That was the Manchester United game. Yeah. And Willian had a decent game. Hit the bar and stuff. Looked half decent. But apart from that, fits and starts hasn't been great.
What do you make about Pepe? Record signing, 72 million. Was on the bench last night, didn't come on. Came on for a little bit against Chelsea, didn't do much. Just, are we getting to a point in the summer now where 2 years at the club, usually after that first year, people say he needs the first year to settle, come from a different country. At 2 years, do we have to start asking real questions, or has he not had enough of a run in the team yet?
Well, we could make excuses all we like, Curtis. Let's be honest. We could say he's not, he's not had a run, he's not had this, he's not had that. But when he shouted for a chance, he went and got himself sent off. So you've got to look at that type of situation as well. For me, the truth of the matter is nobody is safe, Curtis.
Yeah.
In our pursuit to get back to where we need to be, nobody is safe. That goes for Aubameyang, Pepe, Lacazette, anyone. No one is safe because the manager has to make moves and do what he thinks is right. Now, if he thinks moving Pepe on is the right thing to do, that's what he's got to do.
And what I think makes it looks worse for Pepe, big up South London's finest as well. You've got a £72 million player being outdone by young players who've just come out the academy under 23s. I'm actually seeing a drop in the level when he comes on the pitch for Martinelli, and I'm like, something's not adding up here, man.
Because Curtis, the values are different. The values of hard work and fighting and pressing and hunger He's a massive. It makes a massive difference to our football team. It makes them. When you watch the game in the first half, and you look at the way we watch the game in the second half. We are different supporters.
Yeah.
Because of the emphasis and the input and the tempo that we played with, and then Lacazette comes on and scores. It's like, yes, that is our Arsenal. That's what we want from Arsenal. But when you see us passive and making mistakes and playing slow, and no, we know, man. We know that's not the way. So, listen, it's one of them. Pepe's going to have to pull his finger out, or I could see Mikel Arteta, if he gets decent money for him, move him on.
Move him on. Do you know what? Obviously, you played abroad. You went to Turkey, Trabzonspor. I'm just trying to think, from Pepe's point of view, how difficult was it to move to a different country, not speaking the language? Was that did that actually affect you on the football pitch, or was it only away from the pitch where that kind of affected you?
No, it affects you because communication is key, isn't it? Especially when you're in the forward positions, when you want ball. So if you've got the ball, Curtis, and I'm making run, what do I say? Yeah, Curtis, I'm in, or I'll give you some instruction.
Yeah, that's it.
But when you can't communicate like that, obviously it makes life difficult, a bit more difficult. But what I done when I got to Trabzon, I found out who spoke English. And I started to learn some of the terminology in Turkish. It's important.
Yeah.
I had to learn it. You know what I mean? I had to learn it. Or I had to get signals. Get your signals, because one signal that we all recognize, even as a striker, if I'm making a run and I'm in, I put my arm up.
Yeah.
So the guy on the ball knows, play it.
Play it over.
That's what works. So there's different variations of what you can do as a player, but it is difficult. 100%, it is difficult. It's not easy, and I think coming to the Premier League is totally different for Pepe because the physicality is different.
Yeah, the
speed of the game is different, and he doesn't get the time to do all these flicks and tricks, and he's got ability, he's got talent.
Yeah,
but in the Premier League, you don't get chance. Man will wrap you up quick. You know what I mean? Cool. Man will wrap you up quick. So, again, he's got to adjust his game. And if we're honest, I think, was it the Sheffield United game where he came on and
scored?
Played a great, finished off a great move, picked the ball up, direct, cut inside, boom. That's what we want. Now, he can do it, but can he do it consistently, Curtis? This is the issue. And at the moment, there's no place for him because them young boys have got it.
They've got it, man. Listen, nearly 1,500 of you in the chat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Super Kev's in here. How difficult was it to learn the language? By the way, did you learn it quickly in Turkey?
No, Turkish is hard, man. It's a mixture of Arabic, French, and old world stuff. That goes on, sort of Constantinople business. Yeah, man, it's a mixture, but it's hard. But you've got to try. You've got to try and learn certain things. In the end, I could do little interviews in Turkish. The people around you, the teammates, people outside the football club who I made friends with, they help you. Everybody kind of buys into what you do. And to help you learn the language, I think is really important. I believe Pepe's speaking some English now.
Yeah.
Obviously knows all the swear words, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
But again, it's on the training ground where you put all these issues right, Curtis. And is he doing the work on the training ground? I don't know.
My biggest issue with Pepe, and I hope I'm not judging him wrong here, just as a fan, I don't see enough killer instinct. When I see Mane, Salah, Sterling, Son, I see a winger that wants to rip that fullback apart that day, and they're desperate to do it. With Pepe, it's like, if it works, I'm happy. If it don't, well, it's not the end of the world. That's the impression I get of him.
Do you know what, Curtis? It's either it's in you or it's not.
Yeah. You're
And
right.
for some guys, it's not in them to be killers, man. It's not in them. It's
Mm,
in them to be talented and skillful, but to want to kill the fullback time and time again, it's got to be in you. You know what I mean? It's got to be, and
mm,
that's that win. That's that winning mentality. And I'm not saying that Pepe don't want to win,
yeah.
but that winning mentality where I don't care. This fullback is done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm dealing with him game after game after game after game after game. You're seeing it happen you're seeing it happen. I saw Rashford's name there.
Rashford, yeah. Killer
Rashford,
instinct.
he's getting that more and more and more.
Yep.
This is what you need. You need to be a cold man. You need to be a killer, because that's
Yeah.
when teams respect you. Teams respect you like that. But we, unfortunately, it don't seem to be in Pepe.
Yeah, it's a shame when we've invested that much money. I had high hopes for him. A lot of people said maybe we should have gone for Zaha, but I think the difficulty of the deal. I mean, I wanted Zaha. Seriously, I wanted Zaha. Big Arsenal fan, knows the Premier League, attracts players to him. It was all there,
But that's where you question again. The question goes into the recruitment,
yeah,
because let's be honest, Curtis. When you watch Pepe's videos of him at Lille, he was dynamic. He was destroying defenders.
yeah,
But yeah, then you have to. Then it's can I get into his head and the mindset before we sign him? I need to know what is in the heart. I need to know what is in his heart. And there's certain ways you can do that. There's certain questions that you ask that you're gonna hear what you need to hear. You have to ask him. But we know Zaha's been killing fullbacks for years.
for years.
And at Arsenal, where you've got other threats, where he's going to be 1v1, because you watch him at Palace, they all start banking up on him.
Yeah, it's all on him. 2 or 3 players.
2 or 3's are back, and he's still having to beat them.
Yeah,
But I tell you, Curtis, Pepe, obviously, he probably didn't realize how tough the Premier League is.
yeah.
And he's in the Premier League, and yeah, he does shine from time to time, but it's that consistency that we need, and he just hasn't got it at the moment.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's a shame. I wanted to ask you quick about one of your former teammates, Wayne Rooney, manager at Derby County now. Obviously, Derby County, bit of a rivalry there. Me being a Nottingham lad, you ex-Nottingham Forest. But did you ever see him going down that route into management?
Not really, but I think it's a natural progression for him with the career that he's had. Don't forget he's was at Everton twice. He's been at Manchester United. He went and played in America. So when you're doing that sort of stuff and age, you're starting to get a bit older.
Yeah,
You're slowing down a little bit. And Wayne loves football. He does. He loves football. So to get an opportunity to go to Derby, and then what happens at Derby? I mean, there was rumor that he was going in as player coach.
yeah,
With Koku, but at first he was concentrating on his playing career, and then obviously Koku gets the sack, and Wayne Rooney obviously puts himself forward and takes the helm. So. One thing he will do, he will attract players. But I never saw, when he was younger, I never saw him being a manager. But I understand why he's gone into it, because he loves football and he's got a lot to offer the game. He really has. And it's good to see him get a win yesterday, although obviously I'm a Nottingham man.
yeah, exactly.
I'm a Forest man.
You're a Forest fan. Yeah, so
man.
we were talking about Arsenal youngsters earlier. Is Wayne Rooney one of the best young players that
He's the best.
The best.
Not one. He's the best I have ever seen.
Wow. What a baller.
Yep. At 14,
even at them ages there, just balling.
I first played with him at 14. At 14, head and shoulders.
What, he was training with the first team at 14?
No, we played in a game against Southport.
Okay, I've played up there. It's not very
Yeah,
nice.
and it's tough, isn't it, Curtis?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
He was. I thought he was the coach's nephew or something. Just come for the trip.
I'm the coach.
Yeah, it was this ear sticking out. Just quiet with Kev McLeod and them boys. On a little table, and they were just having a laugh.
Yeah.
Got in the dressing room and he's putting the kit on, and I'm thinking he's just coming out for the warm up.
Yeah, mascot or something.
Mascot. Got to near kickoff time, and the Taffy said to me, "Treat him like a first team player, Kev." He says, "You've heard about that Rooney?" So I said, "I've heard the name." He said, "That's him." I said, "Who, that kid there?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." Curtis.
Ridiculous.
Curtis. Different level. And don't forget, when he went to United, first game hat-trick, Champions League, 17, 18. First game hat-trick, Champions League.
I remember.
He's made for it, mate. He's built for it. Built.
I have to
any
admit,
position.
I saw, when you see them Premier League years, I've seen you on them banging goals in as well. They had Rooney 100 goals, and I watched and I thought, yo, do you know what? That young Rooney, man, was absolutely something else.
Lethal. He was lethal. And don't forget, he played multiple positions as well.
Yeah.
He played wide left, wide right, centre mid, number 10, up front as a 2, up front as a 3, up front on his own. And he's always done it, mate. He's always done it.
The signature saying Fabregas at 16 or Rooney at 16. You played against Fab as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Played against Fabregas, who was outstanding, but he can't touch Wayne, mate. No chance. No way. No way.
I love the definitive way you're saying it as well. Like, Rooney was something.
I'll tell you this, Curtis. It was first game of the season. And we were playing Arsenal at Everton. And we look at the team sheet and we saw no Patrick Vieira.
So we said, yes.
We said, who? There's a kid there, Fabregas. So we're thinking, right, boys, midfield boys, you're gonna have to get stuck into Arsenal now because they haven't got Vieira to dictate stuff. Come the end of the game. We were like, who is that? What happened to you two in midfield? They said we couldn't get near him.
Seth was something else, I'm telling you.
And that's why I'm putting some respect on his name. Because I'm not just saying, Wayne's da. No, Fabregas was a hell of a player, mate. He was. But Wayne was better.
Yeah, you think?
No, I know.
Well, you've been your teammate. You've been in the dressing room.
I don't think. I know.
You know.
I know.
Was baller still. Mad
player. Player.
It's because he had the strength, the mentality was mad, wasn't it? It was just crazy, like even for England in that Euros. Hey, big up Door on tour, man.
No, Mr. Door.
Big up Door.
Top man. Curtis,
man, listen.
Against Southport, this is what I will say to you. Against Southport, we're playing against builders, painters, hot carriers.
I played against them, man. They're hard.
Some rough house man.
Yeah, man.
He was bouncing man at 14.
Nah, it's mad.
It was like
man strength.
Because when I was younger, that's what I used to do when I was a kid. But his stature is smaller than I was. So you're thinking, he can't do, he's going to have to look after himself. I was like, I come off after 65 minutes. And normally I just go in and shower. I sat on the bench because they moved him to wide left.
Yeah.
And he was just running the game, Curtis. 60-yard, 70-yard passes, pinpoint, bam, straight to the feet. I was just like, he's 14.
Oh, man.
So I got in the next day and I told the lads, I said, have you heard about this Rooney? I said, yeah. I said, I played with him last night. What's he like, Cams? I said, he should be with us now. Get no chance. What are you talking about, you man? I said, all right, you will see. Soon as he finished school, he was with us. After one training session, the lads just went, Cams, that is frightening.
Oh, man, is that good? Oh,
yeah,
it's
it was
crazy,
that good, mate.
isn't it?
He was that good, mate. I'm telling you. Yeah. But we've got some talented, but we've got some talented boys at our club who need some of these experienced guys to help them. You know what I mean?
What was young Michael Owen like as well? What was young, because he was a baller as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, young Michael Owen was speed and direct. He was very direct. But he couldn't touch Wayne, mate.
No, next level.
Touch Wayne. The thing is, you see, Curtis, Wayne had the all-round game.
Yeah.
He could play. You want to rough it? He's there.
He's on it.
You want to play technical? He's there. You want to play speed? He's there. You want to play slow? He's there. He's got the whole package.
You know what, Kev? I watched the Champions League. What was it? I remember when United beat us in the Champions League game. And when Ronaldo scored that free kick at the Emirates from about 40 yards out, Champions League.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first times I'd seen Rooney live. And I watched him and I said, right, I never knew he was that quick.
Yeah, mate.
I said, yo, when this guy runs, bro, this guy is rapid.
And he's powerful. Curtis, and he's powerful as well. Do you know what I mean? He's very powerful. But, Sir Alex Ferguson built that team on counter-attack. And they had that Ji-Sung Park, who he used to play in the certain games.
Yeah, certain games.
He had an engine and a half, and Ronaldo and Rooney and all these, and Nani. He had all these guys who just counter-attack. They killed us on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
That's what they done. We fell into the trap and they killed us.
What was Cristiano Ronaldo like?
Oh, he was unbelievable as well. I mean, that season where we got 40-odd goals, I mean, the thing is, you see, Curtis, you when you look at that Man United squad, it was coming for you from everywhere. So if it weren't Wayne who's going to get you, it's Ronaldo.
It must have
been. And if it ain't him, it's someone else, or Van Nistelrooy, or what. They're just had that much quality, mate. It's it's like the Arsenal Invincible team, isn't it? They can get you multiple ways. And then when the forwards might not be having a good day, Vieira would just open them long legs and go behind you, man, and put one in the top corner. They had a game that was so adaptable.
Yeah.
And that's why Arsenal and Manchester United battled so much, because both squads were elite.
They just had something different. What do you think was like? What was the best team you've probably played against? Obviously, you had like Mourinho's Chelsea, Wenger's Invincibles, Man United '99, and Man United '08.
Best team I've played against was that AC Milan team who won back-to-back European Cups. With Baresi, Maldini, Tassotti, Costa Curta, Donadoni. Desai played midfield at them times. You had Boban, you had Savicevic, and those guys.
Was George Weah there?
No, George Weah, I played against him. He was at PSG.
Oh, yeah.
Because we played them. We played them. Ginola. He was at Monaco with
Wenger, yeah.
And he was at PSG when we played them in the Cup Winners' Cup semi. Two legs. But that AC Milan team,
ridiculous.
Savicevic, I don't know why that guy isn't one of the best players ever. Because when I saw him, I was just like open mouth. Open mouth. He was doing some things with a football I'd never seen, man. I was just like, he's a lefty. Who is this guy? But you don't really know them guys. But that's when Italy were
That was
Serie
the
A
best
were
league them
top.
times,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
they were the
That's it.
best. Yeah, they were the best. They,
Serie
they
A was
won. They won the. They won the European Cup 4-0.
wow.
European Cup final 4-0.
That's mad. MN said, Curtis, ask Kevin about Gravison. Is he a character?
Oh, great guy, great lad, but mad guy. You know, he blows hot and cold, right, Curtis? So Tommy loves his cars.
Yeah.
So he had the big X5 5-liter. He had the Ford pickup, and he had the Porsche Turbo. Right?
Mm.
He had 3 cars. So always bouncing his music, pumping. You always could hear him coming before you see him. Then one summer, he sold them all and got like a Y-Reg green Nissan Micra.
Oh.
And he loved that car so much, Curtis. He had that for
Yeah.
about 6 months. He drove that car everywhere. And we're like, Tommy, what are you doing? He didn't care, man. He was just, but you know what? He was a player as well. He had ability. He was good. That's why he left Everton and went to Real Madrid. Really good,
Was you
mate.
shocked when he got that move? I remember I was thinking, raw, Real Madrid.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, Curtis, that guy has got ability to burn. I'm telling you. But it's not the ability, it's here. He's just mad. He's just mad. Crazy.
Do you know what? I love these old stories, Kev, man. I see a thing the other day on Twitter. It was it against Swindon? It was highlights, and I think you scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
And then Ian
And
Wright
got one from
keeper, man. What
from
was
40 yards.
that partnership? Yeah, man, posting in. What was that partnership like on and off the pitch, you and Wright?
It was special. You know, 2 South London boys. Obviously, we'd known each other for a while. When Wright was at Palace, we used to see each other about. But it was pure love, Curtis. It was pure love, and it was a love for Arsenal. We both loved the club. We both love winning, and you know, it still is love. Anytime we see each other, it's like we've never been apart. You know, although we don't get to see each other as much as we'd like. You know, still send messages. Still big respect. Great seeing him on TV. He's still as infectious as he ever was, Curtis, and he's still celebrating goals as if he'd scored them. You know what I mean?
Have to admit, Robert, it just looks like such a great partnership. You know, sometimes strikers get a bit competitive with each other, but it just seems like genuine, you know, respect and love for each other as players.
Yeah, I think what happened when me and Wrighty got put together is it was selfless. I had no problem laying it on a plate for Wrighty because for me, I'm a fan playing, Curtis.
Yeah.
For me, as long as Arsenal won, I didn't care. I swear to you, I didn't care who scored the goals. For me, it was all about Arsenal winning. So laying balls on for Wrighty was important. I remember Thierry Henry. We played Arsenal at Goodison, and Thierry Henry pulled me in the tunnel and he says, I've watched them Arsenal videos, and you know, you set up a lot of goals.
Yeah.
I said, Thierry, I'm an Arsenal fan. Not today, Bind. I don't want you to win today, but I'm an Arsenal fan. And he said, no, big respect, man. You know what I mean? He says, I'm learning the history of the football club. You know what I mean? And it was nice of him to say stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that's a big compliment, man.
That's a big compliment. But it was nice of him to watch the history of Arsenal and to understand who'd been at the club before him, etc. Because that makes you feel part of it a lot more.
Yeah.
When you could recognize the guys, you know, it's good. It was brilliant.
How good was Henry on the pitch? Because for me, he's probably my favorite ever Arsenal player, man. It's just unbelievable.
Curtis, Thierry Henry could look disinterested, right? He could look disinterested, and by the time you go in the in the dressing room after the game, you've lost 4 and he scored 2.
Yeah.
And that's him looking disinterested. So when he's on it, I mean, we've seen some of the great goals. The goals against Spurs, the goal again, he flicks it up and hits it over his shoulder against United. You know, when he's on it, he's unplayable, mate. The goal against Liverpool, you know, he's a quick, strong, direct, eye for goal, could head it. He can do it. You couldn't stop him, Curtis. When he's on it, you couldn't stop him.
Yeah, unbelievable player.
What a talent. Man. What a talent.
Definitely my favourite ever. Mo Timbo said, don't know if you've discussed it, but should Aubameyang be guaranteed ahead of Lacazette? I know he has credit in the bank, but Lacazette's on form.
No.
I already know what you're going to say there.
No, there's no guarantees. We've said it earlier on, and I'll say it again. For these three youngsters, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka, Lacazette needs to play because he's the link man. He's the link man for these guys to get into position, etc.
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely. Lona says, big up Curtis, great video. What's Kevin's opinion about R9? I'll let
my favorite. That's my favorite. He's my favorite. The phenomenon. This is my favorite. That guy was just the ultimate number 9.
You ever play against him?
No, I didn't, and I would have loved to, because you know what? You know when you see guys trying to get a shirt at half time and all that. Yeah. I'm not saying I would have done that, but I would think to myself, I would be thinking about it. I need to get a shirt, man. You know what I mean? I need to get a shirt. So normally what I would have done is speak to the kit men.
Yeah.
To speak to their kit men to see if they could get a shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't kind of expose myself, because if I'd have got a chance to give him a clap, I would have clapped him, because just to say, I had to clap him, man. You know what I mean? That guy was unbelievable.
I think for any striker, man, he was just the ideal one. He's the best I've ever seen, man.
And when young, or even when he got fat, he still was unstoppable. When he got a little fatter at Real Madrid, he was still lethal.
He just changed his game. He was mad.
But he was still rapid over the top.
Yeah.
You see him, he was just leaving people, mate. But, you know, one of them players who played for Barcelona and Real Madrid.
I know. And it seemed acceptable with him. He was that good.
Well, obviously, what he went through in between, you know, going to Italy and the injuries and stuff like that. And then Real Madrid signed him with under the Galacticos banner.
Yeah.
You know, with Beckham and Zidane and all those guys, Roberto Carr. I mean, what a team. What a dressing room, Curtis. That is special.
It's mad. Dean Joseph said the Wright and Campbell show was a joy to watch during the 90s.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure to be involved as part. Look, you know, a lot of the black community, a lot of all the communities loved it, but the black community especially, because there was a connection with the music and the culture, you know, with the dances and the goal celebrations and stuff like that. So it was a great time to be.
You man was ahead of your time, you know, with them dancers, bro. I'm telling you, man was skanking out in the early 90s. You know,
that, Curtis. You know that
as well. I seen gun fingers and everything.
Yeah, everything was going on. Everything, because it was all dancehall.
Yeah,
you know, the dancehall influence was there.
Yeah,
you know, week in, week out, South London boys, street boys. So that had to come across. And, you know, we actually started to see more street boys, more black boys coming to the Arsenal because of what was going on the pitch with Rocky, Mickey Thomas Purcell, Paul Davies, Wrighty, you know, all them boys. It was brilliant, man. Brilliant time.
Yeah, man. You man were proper. Get a few questions in and let you go. Who was your biggest inspiration to become a football player?
Biggest inspiration? I don't really have a biggest inspiration. I think I got helped by a lot of people. Fred Ricketts was a scout who scouted me. I've got to say, Pat Rice was unbelievable to all of us when we were young. Fantastic coach and fantastic mentor. But Terry Murphy and those guys behind the scenes at Arsenal were equally as important, because they made sure your feet were on the ground.
Yeah,
they made sure you knew what it meant to play for Arsenal. You know, they knew some of us were fans, but now you're on the inside, you're in the inner sanctum, and it meant a lot to them to make sure every player knew what it took to play for Arsenal. Yeah, and George Graham, obviously, George Graham, Phil Foley, who's no longer here, they were fantastic to me and helped me. And some of the players, Paul Davis, Rocky, who's no longer here with us, who was brilliant to me, like a brother. Michael Thomas, who was like a brother to me as well, helping me in the club. Pops was awesome. David O'Leary was another one who really helped me a lot. And people might not know this, but John Lukic as well. John Lukic was really good to me when I was coming through. So, those were inspirational people in and around Arsenal for me.
Yeah, man. RR said, Kevin, make a regular podcast with Wright. I mean, that would be a great watch, to be fair.
Well, I think Wright he's got his own one.
Got one now, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's got one now. I think he's got his own one. So again, it's about time and all that kind of thing. I don't know whether we can actually do that, but it would be a good one. It'll be funny. I can tell you that much. It'll be funny.
Kim Ron said, Kevin, played against any players from the 98 World Cup team, Jamaica, Gardner, Whitmore, big up from NYC.
Ricardo Gardner, yeah, played against him before. Whitmore, I don't think I've played against Whitmore. But Gardner, Ricky, definitely, when he was at Bolton. Definitely. Good player, Ricky was. Good left foot, man. Good left foot, work hard, good ability, and he had a good career.
Was you ever approached to play for Jamaica?
No, I was never approached. Never.
Couple more. 6 million. Big up for the super chat. Said, Kev, what did Glenn Cockrell say to Paul Davis? I never forget that left hook.
I have no idea. I wasn't on the pitch.
No.
I wasn't on the pitch, but when I got home, I didn't know what happened. And in the dressing room after the game, you go in, and Pops is a quiet man. He's a quiet man, you know what I mean? And he was just quiet. He was just quiet. So everybody respected him and left him alone because, he's an experienced guy.
Yeah.
But I got to say, when I got home and it was on the news and it kind of highlighted it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pops give him a dig, mate.
Big one. You wouldn't. He'd get a long ban for that these days.
Yeah, well, he got 9 games, man. That was
9 games. Wow.
That was a lot, man. That was a lot.
Yeah.
But he said something derogatory. I don't know fully what he said.
Yeah.
But it was for Pops to react like that. It was derogatory.
It was bad. Yeah, it must have been bad. Let's finish on this. Who would you bring in January, Kev? What would you like to see Arteta get done in the January window?
I'd love Basuma or Ndidi. I'd love one of them. Probably Basuma because you know what?
Basuma's realistic, innit, really,
well,
out of the two.
Indeed, obviously, Leicester have got the bread to say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basuma's a bit of a player. I like him. So I'd like to bring him in. And you know what? I still think a Zaha or somebody of that ilk coming in could be very good. Never mind coming in. I'd like to see Saliba get a chance.
I'd
like to see him get a chance at least, Curtis.
It's a strange situation, isn't it, why he hasn't been involved, but it looks like he might go out on loan.
Well, I think Mikel Arteta mentioned that he wants him to go out on loan and then come back and then be ready for next season.
Yeah, it's a shame. We kind of hoped that was happening last season when he was out on loan, that he'd be ready for this.
Exactly. But the problem was Mikel Arteta wasn't manager at the start of last season.
Yeah.
That was Emery. Emery was the manager. And Arteta obviously came in halfway through or whatever. So, difficult. Yeah,
listen, Kev, I'm going to let you get going. Brilliant show. Love having you on. Them old school stories, man. I just listen and take it all in, man, because that's when football was,
Listen, you get it out of me, Curtis. You get it out of me, bro. You get it out of me. Bro. And I'm just looking at the time and I think, it goes so quick on here, man.
Yeah, man. No, I really appreciate you coming on, Kev. Them stories. Listen, hit the like button, people. Subscribe to Kev's channel. Are you still putting content out on there?
I am sometimes, but I've been working quite a lot, so I haven't really been doing too much because I've been doing stuff with the hybrid squad, etc. So that stuff's going out all the time on Twitter.
Going out. So check out the hybrid squad. His channel's called One Kevin Campbell. Go and subscribe to that as well. Big up, Kev. I'll try and get you on next month if you're not too busy. I appreciate you coming on. Have a great new year as well, bro.
Yeah, Curtis, happy new year to you, mate. All the best with the channel. And thanks everyone in the chat and anybody who's going to be watching this afterwards. All the best. And happy new year. Have a great 2021.
100%, Kev. Same to you. Take care, everyone. Bless.